Whenever you feel like all hope is lost and you're all alone in this world, you can always count on your loyal pups to come to the rescue.
You're a stubborn one, aren't you?
As if their cute and warm cuddles aren't enough, their unwavering love towards their humans truly make them man's best friend. If you're still not convinced, here are 11 loyal dogs that saved people's lives. What's up, Facnatics? This is Discovery Amuse, serving up your daily dose of the most outrageous, outlandish, and out-of-this-world fun facts. Stay tuned till number 1 to find out about the loving doggo that even got an award for his heroic act.
A flying dog.
Number 11. Lost in the Wild. 5-year-old Karina Chikatova lives in the remote Olam village in Russia with her father, mother, grandmother, and her best buddy, Naida. On July 29, 2014, she secretly followed her father to the Siberian taiga. It wasn't until a few days later that her mother realized Karina had gone missing. A search operation was immediately launched. 12 days later, the authorities finally found little Karina exhausted, covered in mosquito bites, and lying in a bed of grass. By her side, all throughout her ordeal, was her loyal pooch, Naida. The rescuers believe Naida guarded Karina from bears and wolves that lurked in the forest and kept her warm at night. After 9 days, Naida left the little girl momentarily to go back to the village and seek help. Thanks to Naida, Karina was found unharmed and in relatively good shape, though the child was clearly traumatized. Karina's story of survival captured the hearts of a lot of netizens, and a statue of her and Naida was even put up in the city of Yakutsk. Keep watching because our number 1 is living proof of a dog's purpose. Number 10. Stroke of luck. In this security footage, watch as 2 Labrador retrievers rushed outside the front door. A few minutes later, a neighbor arrives at the house. This exact moment saved 62-year-old Maureen Hatcher from immediate danger.
Had it not been for my dogs going and getting my neighbor, I wouldn't be here today.
Maureen lives alone with her Labrador retrievers Bella and Sadie in her home in St. Augustine, Florida. One day in December of 2018, Maureen collapsed after suffering from a severe stroke and had no one else to turn to for rescue but her pooches.
I remember Sadie coming in and I said, Mommy needs help. And then they were gone.
Thankfully, her door wasn't locked that day, so the heroic dogs were able to dash to the front door and across the street to seek help. Maureen's neighbor, Alexandra Naspolini, rushed over to her house where she found Maureen sprawled across her bed.
What's going on?
She needs an ambulance. I saw her dog outside, and I talked to her, and she could not talk to me.
When responders arrived, Maureen was rushed to a stroke center, where she was treated just in time. Move over, Lassie, because Bella and Sadie are the real deal. Number 9. New year, new life. A man named Bob was at his home in Michigan on New Year's Eve of 2017 when he accidentally slipped on the icy ground and broke his neck, leaving him paralyzed in the thick snow. He desperately cried for help, but being a quarter of a mile away from his nearest neighbors, nobody heard Bob except for his golden retriever, Kelsey. Kelsey immediately heeded Bob's call, rushed to his side, and lay on top of him throughout the night. This saved him from the severe hypothermia in the -4-degree temperature that night. When Bob lost his voice and collapsed from calling out for help, Kelsey didn't stop barking and howling in his stead. The morning after, the pair was discovered by one of Bob's neighbors and he was immediately taken to the hospital. Doctors said Bob had already developed signs of hypothermia as his body temperature was dangerously low at 20 degrees, but things could have been way worse if not for Kelsey.
I don't think he would be living unless the dog were there. The dog kept him warm. The dog kept his extremities warm. He didn't have any frostbite.
Number 8. Almost last breath. When 80-year-old Novato resident Jack Farrell adopted a rescued German Shepherd named Max, he didn't know at the time that it would be a life-saving decision for him until a year later when Jack almost breathed his last. In March of 2014, while Jack was sleeping, Max woke him up, dragged him out of bed, and led him to the kitchen. When Jack finally came to, he was bleeding so hard from Max's bite that he decided to call 911. When the rescue team arrived, they learned that Jack's wall heater had been malfunctioning and had been emitting carbon monoxide all along. In fact, it had already reached dangerous levels that could have poisoned him.
Carbon monoxide poisoning is easily confused for flu-like symptoms, for food poisoning, and other illnesses.
Okay, things like shortness of breath, nausea, and dizziness.
Absolutely. You have shortness of breath, you have nausea, you have dizziness, lightheadedness. Confusion is a very late stage when we get into that.
Jack was briefly hospitalized after the incident, but he was extremely thankful to his savior, Max, who could smell danger from 10 feet away. Number 7. Lost in a cornfield. Timberland Merritt's 3-year-old daughter Remy is a little firecracker who loves playing outdoors with her little Yorkie, Fat Heath. But in June of 2018, Remy's free spirit got the better of her when she wandered too deep into the cornfields and couldn't find her way back. When Timberland realized her daughter had been missing for quite some time, she immediately called 911.
And we can't find her anywhere.
I'm going to get a deputy out there right now, okay?
A search party was immediately formed and roughly 100 volunteers and 2 helicopters searched for Remy that evening in the vast Missouri cornfield.
Stressful and emotional. We all was out there just walking back and forth from one end to the other and yelling her name.
Night eventually turned into morning, and after a 12-hour grueling search, Remy's brother found her and Fat Heath sleeping in the middle of the cornfield about a half-mile away from their house.
I thought she was going to be scared because it was dark, and she was all alone. I didn't know if she knew we were coming for her.
When Remy finally regained some strength, she told her parents that she wasn't scared one bit because Fat Heath never left her side. Pups do make for great babysitters too. Number 6. Freak accident on a quad bike. In June of 2018, a 56-year-old Australian man found himself lying injured in a secluded, dead-end road in central Queensland. He had an accident while riding his quad bike and he got stuck when the ATV rolled over. Lucky for the man, his trusty cattle dog was there with him, keeping him warm as they waited for help all night long. When morning came, a neighbor on her morning jog spotted the upside-down quad bike and soon found the man suffering from severe head and chest injuries. The woman immediately called emergency services and a rescue team soon came for the injured man.
When we got to him, he was very cold, and that was quite concerning. And if it wasn't for his dog, he may have not survived the night.
Number 5. Home invasion. Quick question. How many people do you know right now who would undoubtedly take a bullet for you? Maybe not a lot, and you really can't blame them, right? All I know is some of our canine companions might be more willing to risk their lives for us because their loyalty knows no bounds. Just like these pups named Shakespeare and Charlie, who didn't think twice about taking a bullet for their beloved humans. In September of 2018, a family home in Los Angeles became the target of armed intruders. Charlie and Shakespeare weren't about to let the unwanted guests in, though, so they both chased the burglar out onto the street.
The dogs were in the back. They didn't bark. They just started running.
However, perhaps out of fear and sheer desperation, the suspects opened fire on the poor pooches.
I believe it was 2 for the other dog and 2 for Charlie, but somehow she received all the damage from the bullets.
When the police arrived at the scene, Charlie was taken by animal control. A crowdfunding page was set up for the expensive surgery Charlie needed, and the community came to the aid of the brave doggo by raising a total of $8,000. One of Charlie's legs needed to be amputated, but the hero pup was more than happy to be back into the loving arms of his human siblings. Number 4. House on fire. On the evening of March 4th, 2018, Laura Smith from Bastrop County, Texas, was awakened by their adopted dog, Chrome, at 1 in the morning. At first, Laura thought Chrome just needed to go pee, but to her shock, their pet led her to a fire that had already ignited inside their home.
He stayed with me until I realized that the house was on fire and then took off down our hallway to get the boys out into safety.
After showing the source of the fire to Laura, Chrome rushed back upstairs to wake up Laura's two sons, Alex and Ian. In no time, the entire house was ablaze, and all of the family's belongings were destroyed. The home was so damaged that the fire department couldn't even determine the cause of the blaze. Thankfully, Laura, her two sons, and Chrome were safe and sound. And to those looking for a new fur baby, here's Laura's piece of advice.
Don't shop, adopt, because there are tons of dogs that need a loving home and will return that love a million times over.
Number 3, Apolo the Protector. Sexual predators attack when you least expect them. This is exactly what Brooklyn resident 18-year-old Maya Fairweather experienced one night in November of 2016 while she was out for a walk at a park near her boyfriend's house. Good thing she took her boyfriend's 5-month-old pit bull Apollo with her, because the spunky pooch ended up saving Maya from getting raped. A few moments after she let Apollo off his leash to play for a bit, Maya felt someone pull her headphones and jacket. Out of nowhere, a man pushed her to the ground and tried to pull down her pants. But just as quickly as the perp had Maya subdued, Apollo darted towards Maya and bit the pervert's leg so hard that the man struggled to shake him off. The attacker eventually gave up and ran for dear life, and Maya couldn't be more grateful to the dog, who apparently loves her just as much as her partner. Number 2, Seizure Savior. This security footage from March of 2021 shows a woman leisurely walking her fluffy doggo when all of a sudden she collapses to the pavement. Turns out the woman on the video, Haley Moore, suffered from a sudden seizure.
All I remember is waking up in the ambulance and being very confused.
Luckily, her beloved Samoyed, Clover, is such a clever little girl. You know what she did after sensing something was seriously wrong with her owner? Watch as Clover goes to the middle of the street to get the attention of this passing vehicle. Sure enough, the driver of the truck hit the brake and checked to see what was going on.
The dog Clover actually blocked my way. She kind of backed into the road to block the truck.
Clover then went home to alert the rest of Haley's family of her situation. Although the family is still finding out what caused Haley's seizure, they are confident that she's in good paws with Clover's company. Before we go to our number 1 pick, do us a solid and make sure to smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Don't forget to choose all so you won't miss out on any of our latest life-changing, boredom-busting content, and of course, be sure to turn on notifications in your app settings. Number 1, a miraculous moment. June 10, 2014 is a date Joseph Phillips Garcia will never forget, because that's when he was given a second shot at life, all thanks to the bravery of his BFF King Shepherd named Seikow. While Joseph's family was heading back from a fishing trip, the truck that Joseph and Seikow were on suddenly lost control, sending the vehicle down a steep ravine.
I was pretty tired, so I started to fall asleep in the back. Could feel the truck going over. Didn't really know what was going on. It went black after that.
Only he and Seikow survived the tragedy, but they were stuck in the bottom of the embankment, with Joseph suffering a broken thigh bone and collarbone. While waiting for rescue, Seikow stayed with Joseph to keep him warm and even brought wood for Joseph to make a fire. Seikow also helped Joseph drag himself to a nearby creek to drink some water. At one point, the pup even fended off wild coyotes lurking nearby.
As soon as he realized their scent was coming closer and closer, and then he just went in. You could hear them just fighting and the bushes ruffling around.
It took 2 days before the two were finally rescued. Seikow's story of unparalleled courage and loyalty earned him the prestigious Purina Animal Hall of Fame in 2015. But I bet the accolade didn't matter to the brave pooch. What matters the most is that his owner lives to fight another day. How about you? What's your heroic pet story? Share them with us in the comments section below. Take home our exclusive gear by browsing our merch shelf or clicking the link in the video description. And while you're at it, take our quiz to find out how you can earn extra cash online doing what you do best. Awesome, right? If you're down in the dumps, then this might just cheer you up. don't miss our list of the 15 people who are having a worse day than you. Until then, stay loving, Facmatics, and see you in the next video.